Hello and welcome to Pens, Paint and Whiskers. So today, following on from my play with colour, that's exactly what I'm going to do today again. So I have made this lady, Honor. I think is her name anyway. I've made her, and if you were following along in the last video, you saw me doing something called some colour play or colour swatching and testing. And these are the colours I decided that I really like for her. So I'll show you guys sort of how I sort of have stopped playing around with them. And when I decide I really like a colour, I'll just go for it and I'll do it here. So in this video, in my previous one, I had a little bit of trouble sort of convincing myself that these were the right colours for a particular piece or part of the work. And yeah, so now I've kind of had to think about them, and under different circumstances, sometimes you kind of need to sit on a piece for a little while and decide upon your colours. And so I've done that, and now I'm going to speak about or show off how I put colour down. These sort of grey she has, so she's a fey kind of vampiric creature, sort of Tudor or Stuart or Elizabethan style, but this little critter here, and this is the parent, and there's another one of them. These are her hellhounds. So I'm going to make the little hellhounds, and I'm going to just kind of blend on camera. So this is the colours I decided for them. So they're Ohuhu, so they're all alcohol markers, Ohuhu creative markers, so different brands, but they do indeed seem to blend well. So hopefully, with this guide in mind, I'm going to get them down on paper. So I should say this paper here is Zieler 300 GSM watercolor paper. Excuse me, but I would recommend not doing watercolor paper if you want alcohol markers. It's not a good idea because it does in fact suck all the colour from them, just given the nature of what the paper is used for. But at the time, it was the only paper accessible that was thick enough for watercolour, acrylic, wash, kind of mixed media. And so I've kept using it. I actually do like it, but again, I wouldn't recommend doing it fully, doing markers fully on it. But anyway, I've went over a little bit of her hand, but how and ever. So what I do is I've choose kind of 2 to 3 colours that I like. So this little hellhound puppy is going to be I like the idea of a lilac, purple and grey. And I've went through all my colours and found kind of colours that match how I envision him. So I'm just going to do, this is the Ohuhu, a base colour, so RG120, and it's kind of like a purple grey, so there's warmth in it. And there's a sort of a lilac in it. And I just see the sun coming out, so I'm just going to make sure that it looks okay camera wise. It does indeed, but if needs be, I'll have to play around with lighting. But yeah, so this is the little puppy here, and I'm doing him in the base colour RG120. And so his whole body is that colour. Now I'm going to pick out, importantly when you're doing colour, try and determine where the light comes from. So I imagine the light should come in from above. So his light highlight should be all along here. So any bit that stands out, like his paw, is obviously going to be over his chest. And there is going to be a tiny little bit of shadow under his jaw and near where she is holding him. So that bit is probably the trickiest part for anyone kind of struggling with that. I understand the struggle. It is a tough kind of part, determining light and shadow. But hopefully here on camera I'm gonna make it look convincing. And again, you're blocking in a lot of this secondary shade that I'm doing the little puppy here in. A lot of it is blocking in. And then you can hopefully blend and work up with tone. Again, alcohol markers are really easy for making, you know, playing with tone. So hopefully I'm going to be able to convey that here. So yeah, so his tone is, and the ear behind would be, and under his jaw, and his little paw here. So he has got kind of mid-tones and some of his little chest hair here. So yeah, I'm just sort of showing, blocking in colours and showing how exactly I do them. I don't really use, I kind of really took to my alcohol markers. So yeah, they're kind of, the majority of my work is alcohol markers. I don't know if I like kind of the lines here, so trying to sort of circle back, and some fur details I expect I'll have to draw it in with a pen, but I'll see how I go, and I might get to draw some, do more colour work on Parent here in the corner. But yeah, so that's what I know about. Now the detailing on her dress, I will do that probably off camera because I have to look at a few references for it. But I do know it is going to be in a lovely, splendid green. And the backgrounds with her friend here is going to be done in kind of navy and purple. So she's going to be quite richly covered. And in rich colours, I should say. And I do little puppy's paws here. So yeah, I'd imagine his little hellhound here is going to be kind of wolfish, but they have got beaks, so they're a little bit like gargoyle or griffin kind of mix of creatures. Now the darkest shade, so this is a creative alcohol marker, so it's 122. So this is the very dark parts of him. So really, really dark, like a kind of the very inner shadows. And be careful with those because you don't want too much shadow because it'll look quite unconvincing. So as you can see here, I'm only doing the very, so on the bottom, what parts I'd imagine might be only shadowed, like her holding him would make these kind of very dark shadows. And then what I do is I blend them with not the secondary dark colour, but the very lightest colour. So that's a trick that I would recommend. Don't blend when you're blending here. So I'm sort of dragging this dark colour while it's still wet, dragging it into the secondary light colour. But I'm doing it with the lightest of the shades, if that makes sense. I hope it does. I might not be the best for explaining what exactly I'm doing. But his lightest, his base shade, RG120, I'm blending the darkest. Using that to blend the darkest. So he's taking form. I'm happy with how he's coming out now. This colour is 65, so it's a very dark kind of purple actually. So I'm going to just try and see can I pull out the purple from him using this shade, and if not, that's okay, we'll go over it. But hopefully so. It's looking good. And then yeah, so he looks like a little werewolf. And once again, blend with the base, so the RG120 again, and I'll try that on his parent down below her too. Yeah, and I have a little curled up portrait up there, so I'm not quite sure what that's going to be done in yet, but again, talking you through the process of this. So there he is. Now what I usually do is, before I ink him in, so he's far from being inked in yet, but using my highlighter pen, and I've got several types of pens I use for a highlighter, But this time, oh, here's my eraser, pair. Faber-Castell Artist Pitt pen. So I'm just checking that the nib is clean. So this is a white, but it's not like a bright white like a Posca, for example. This is a kind of a muted white, and I use it for highlights that I want to look not too, you know, not too unnatural and unconvincing. So again, the light coming from here, so any bit that is standing out and upwards towards the light or closer to the light, like his paws or his little knee here, I'm just colouring them over. So you can go over this again and again. Now I only do it once because I highlight anyway in Posca pen, but yeah, little puppy here, and you can blend it with your finger. Sometimes that's really my only blending tool. So his neck hair and his little chest hair here is highlighted. And yeah, so his knees there, if he has knees, I think he does, but that's what he looks like. So that's how I blend in. And when I ink him, so in the final stages, when I ink him, he will hopefully look more fitting as his natural state. So I might try the same thing with his parent here. So his parent is down at the bottom. And yeah, I like his parent a lot too. So they're going to have the same colours as obviously as the little one here. But the parent has an open mouth, so I'm going to have to do maybe a wine sort of off camera for the open mouth. But yeah, so again, as with baby, this is the base shade. So it's RG120. RG120, and the parent's whole body is RG122. So I'm not being, you might see me here, I'm not being particularly fastidious with what kind of light and shadow with the base colour, because just so long as it's down, throw it down in your space, just throw it down, and then you can play along with what colours, shade, shadow, blending. Let that dry, and then we can put in some kind of more tones. So we work up tones kind of, and we take a little bit more time with tones here afterwards. So that's RG120. RG150. So with this, I've chosen 4 colours. I wouldn't necessarily do 4 colours, but I'm doing them here. So again, the light, so the top of the jaw here and the head is going to be the lightest, and the darkest is going to be under the jaw. So you build them up, and along by the jaw. So RG150, I think here. Yeah, so, and hopefully they look convincing. Fur is always a little bit hard to do, so I kind of just sometimes leave it to chance. I do struggle sometimes with fur. I know I don't do fur a whole lot, and because I don't draw a lot of creatures, I don't tend to do fur on living animals. If I'm doing fur, I always find I'm doing it on trims on costumes. But now this is a little bit different for once, so this is a little bit of a challenge. But the eye socket of parent here and a little bit under the jaw is obviously going to be in shadow. And a little bit of the beak, so they do have a little bit of a gargoyle looking. They're not necessarily hounds altogether. And I think I'm right. They've horns on top of their head. Now, I think I've missed an ear, so I shall get it in time. Yeah, so that's it. And because the ear is behind. So now, that's the secondary shadow, secondary tone I should say. And I'm just going to kind of drag this RG150, so the darker shade, down back into the body and drag it up. So you're sort of dragging the colour away, so the dark tones away. If this makes sense, I hope it does. I wouldn't exactly call myself, especially when I'm filming here, I wouldn't exactly say that I'm Bob Ross at really good at explaining things, but the sort of learner I am is I learn by watching and learn by doing, so maybe that leans into it too. But hopefully it's making somewhat sense. So that actually looks like a moose now. So the parent does look like a moose, but this is the colour experiments anyway. Again, I will decide on the background later. I'm thinking maybe a very dark background, but I'm not sure yet. But I do like how these little hellhound critters are turning out. So we'll keep going. And here is now, obviously I would normally block in a lot of shadow like this, but I know this is the creature heading down towards the shadow, away from the light, so I'm blocking them in with the bullet there, or the chisel, the thick chisel nib, and a little bit under the jaw here. Now back to tin nib. So be careful, the darker the shadows go, be more careful with them. That's all I can say. So sparingly, so less is truly more. As I'm doing, I'm being careful now and thinking about where the dark shadows should be. And I think that might be enough. So I always have it that you're in doubt, and then stand back or stop and look at it. So always be in doubt about these dark shadows. Don't be too liberal with them. And you can always build them up. Less is always more. You can always build up, but it's harder to go back from very dark shadows. So yeah, always be a little bit more sparing with them. And I'm going to pop in a little bit of purple in the darkest part. And again, bullet nib. So I do this all the time when I'm working on a piece. This is how I would perform with them. So sometimes I'd have only 2 colours, other times 3. But now you're seeing kind of backstage. Well, I won't say backstage because I'm filming it now, but you see the colour process, and swatching and playing with colour and seeing me deciding what colours I like. And sometimes arguing with colours and fighting with them, but that's all part of the process. So now you're seeing this and seeing what goes into it. So yeah, sometimes a lot of experiments, because these things don't happen perfectly a lot of the time. They just you need time to think about what colours you like and what colours to build up and put on. So in the next part, I would probably have a lot of it done. And I might just ink in things or embellish with gold. But that is mainly, I'm happy with those colours, and I'm happy with how the little hellhound puppy is turning out, and the parent. So then I'm just going to highlight what parts that I can see that are immediately up towards the light source. Now, if it helps you, I haven't done it myself, but I think I see other artists doing it. If there is a little sticker of a sun, or a tiny little sort of post-it in white or in creamy yellow, some artists place them on their pieces sort of up in the corner to help them. Now, I'm okay doing such a thing, but if you really want to do that way, or learn that way, or you think it helps, go for it. Or even draw a little white or a little yellow sun, or in something that can be easily erased too, like, you know, that maybe watercolour pencil. But some artists, I have seen people doing that, or I've heard people doing it, and it works for them. So yeah, that's another idea, playing with light and shadow and tone and building it up. Now, I don't know, maybe I went a little bit liberal on my white balance, getting distracted, I think. But that's mainly how I work on building tone and colour and thinking about colour. So I'm going to keep working on these off camera, and when we come back for the next part, I might just do a little bit of gold embellishment, or I'll see how I go with other colours. But anyway, if you like what you see and you're new here, I do this very regularly, and I have a video out every week, so why not consider liking and subscribing? You're most welcome, and thank you very much. If you're a constant watcher and you know what to expect from me, thank you very much for still watching and still being here on my journey, and I'm most appreciative of that fact. But however, that's my little colour experiments. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.